What's up guys, my name's Jacob, this is Benny. On this episode we put our Nissan Patrol on full air suspension. We hit some off-road tracks in Sunshine Coast's iconic Glasshouse Mountains.
Then we camp out in an awesome creekside location and climb Mount Tibrogargan.
Welcome to Bag Builds. You want to drive? We've been waiting to bag the Patrol now for quite a while, and that day is finally here.
Yep, we're chucking on all the bells and whistles, and it's going to be an awesome platform to showcase some of our full air range.
We put the first Nissan Patrol on air suspension over 2 decades ago. That was a world first. It's awesome to see my little lads now doing the same sort of thing for their bag builds. Can't wait to see it.
To begin the install, we've got to prepare the vehicle by removing the coil springs. This will give us good access to install the airbags. Now we've also got to look at airbag clearance, which requires us to flip the upper control arm pins and trim down the tabs on the inside of the upper spring seats. Let's get into it. Now that the vehicle prep's out the way and we've got good airbag clearance, let's show you what's next. This here is the tower brace kit typically used with coil spring suspensions. Now we're installing this just as a preventative measure because we all know the towers bend in these due to load. This is going to be an easy install and works alongside our full air suspension. Let's get into it.
Benny does the finishing touches on the preparation. I'm going to get stuck into the front and rear airbag assemblies. So I've just got to build them up for him and then he can just slot them into place.
95% of our full air suspension range, we option for a rolling sleeve airbag. Now, this is because they have a greater volume, giving you a nicer ride quality, but also through your suspension travel, they have great stability. These are also used worldwide throughout OEM full air suspension applications.
Now another airbag that you see out in the market is a triple convoluted bag. So we don't actually use these types of bags because as they go through their suspension movement and they articulate with the vehicle, the central convolute can actually bellow right out, which will give you poor stability of the bag and the vehicle. When designing and manufacturing our air suspension kits, we start off by selecting the appropriate airbag that will work beautifully with the suspension movement, cater for the weight carrying capacities of the vehicle, and fit nicely with the available space underneath.
Once we've selected the airbag, we move on to designing the mounting brackets around the airbag itself and the vehicle suspension for an easy fit solution. With that being said, we've chosen a heavy-duty Firestone airbag. left-hand side assembly is all installed, we're going to repeat the same process on the right-hand side by securing the lower bracket to the lower spring seat and then feed the assembly in. But before that, we need to perform a quick leak test on the top fitting.
Done, on to the next.
Yep, hands to the front. Yeah. It all went in pretty well. We just had the tower brace in the top, had to loosen that all off to line all the bolts up. Other than that, it was bang on.
That was good. Yeah, just crack on with the front, eh? Let's do it.
First assembly went in nice and easy. We did find on the later model GU Patrols, we do have to open up the hole in the top spring seat to suit the locating pip on the top bracket. Also, we've molded the piston to the lower spring seat and matched the full assembly to the full travel, so it'll never dislodge at full extension. Let's get into it.
Is that easy, is it, Benny?
Yep.
You gonna let me do this one?
Go for
Let's
it.
do it out.
Read the instructions.
We're just about finished on the airbag install at the front, and guess who decided to show up?
Penny and Brian from Topper Down Under.
I've been running the coil assist airbags in my Land Cruiser for quite some time now, and I've taken them all over Australia. And when the boys said that they're doing full air suspension on their Patrol, I just had to come and check it out. Jacob and Benny love the tyres on my Cruiser so much that they asked me to hook them up with a set and bring them down for their new build. And I have to say, this build is looking pretty epic.
Now that the wheels and tyres are on, it's starting to look like a proper rig.
It's day 2, and this is where the air suspension comes to life with the automatic leveling system. Airbags are in, it's now time to move on to the onboard air supply and control system. What we have here is a custom bracket which is going to house the compressors, the ECU and the valve block, and one of the air tanks. We've also got another air tank here which is going to be for the tyre inflation facility. Now this system is going to give us 3 preset heights for the airbags, and this compressor is pretty much going to be the air supply for that. This compressor here is for the tyre inflation. So I'm going to bolt all this together, get the compressors in, the ECU, valve block and the air tank, all ready for Benny to chuck it into the vehicle. In this full air suspension system, we're using dual compressors. So we're using our own Airbag Man compressor And this one, which is what I wanted to mention in particular, is the German-built AMK compressor. This one here is world-renowned for being used in Mercedes-Benz in the OE applications, plus many more European applications. But we also use this in our ECAS system, which is our electronically controlled air suspension.
Jacob's finished the air supply assembly. I'm going to be mounting it to the wing of the drawers, and then I'm going to get into routing the airline and the wiring. On this rig, we're using a 3-gallon tank for the air suspension and a 1-gallon tank for the tyre inflation. Now these are a lightweight spun aluminium air tank with universal mounting feet. Now the most important thing about this tank is it is SAE J10 approved, which is an approval you need for the automotive and off-road machinery applications. We've routed the height sensor loom and power and earth outside of the cabin. We're now going to move on to mounting the height sensors, and then we can finish the routing, then move on to the tubing.
The height sensors play a massive part in our auto leveling system, as they give us the ability to set the 3 preset heights and also senses the weight going on and off of the vehicle.
All of these high quality components are linked together using our plug and play harness featuring fully sealed connectors.
Benny's just doing the finishing touches with the airline. Just got to connect the airline to the front airbags here. We've also got one wire that we need to connect up to the last height sensor at the front. Now in the meantime, I'm going to get this air tank bolted up under the vehicle. This one's for the tyre inflation. Once we've done that, we can start doing the calibration, get stuck into that and set the 3 heights for the vehicle. All right, let's do it. Okay, so all the components, the major components, are now mounted to the vehicle. We've done all the wiring and the tubing. Next step is to set the 3 preset heights with this controller. All I have to do is just go through the normal sequence and set all the heights here. Ben's gonna yell out the measurements and let me know when we're getting to a certain height. So first step, start off with the lowered height. Let's do it. The 3 preset heights we'll be setting is a lowered height for easy access into the vehicle, a drive height for awesome ride quality, and a raised height for more body clearance in off-road situations.
Don't forget, another awesome benefit is maintaining a level ride height under all load conditions.
All sorted. All right, so that's the raised drive height and lowered height done. I just want to show you something pretty cool that Benny's done here in the glove box. So he's got a bit of textured plastic which he's cut to size, which is going to house the little rocker switch here, which you can cycle through your 3 preset heights. We've also got a service switch as well mounted in this area. So if you're going to get your vehicle serviced by any mechanic, they can just flick the switch and it just shuts the whole system down, so it's not going to adjust unexpectedly. Another thing here, we've got our handheld controller. So this is where you do the majority of the changing of the heights, go through your 3 preset heights there, and also the manual and service mode can be adjusted by the handheld. Now that just goes into the little slide-in compartment there that comes supplied in the kit. So with that little fitting there, you can mount that into other glove boxes in here if you've got the room, and also you could mount that to the rear of the vehicle, which is another good spot there. So yeah, something pretty cool to show you. There we go, guys. That's a wrap with the airbag install. It's now time to go to the Glasshouse Mountains and show you all the features and benefits in real life situations. Okay, so we're just about to head off to the Glasshouse Mountains to show you the Patrol in action and run you through a few key features and benefits along the way.
We're going to kick it off with the low mode. This is going to make it much easier to get access into the back of the vehicle and to load the swags. Shall we get into it?
Do it. If you've got a short member of the family, the lowered height is perfect for access into the cab.
Hey Darth, you mind if you drop the vehicle down a bit? Your car's just way too bloody high these days.
Yeah, no worries, love. That's why we made the investment for air suspension. One moment. Wow, love, that's really good. Okay, so we're not going to be towing on this trip. However, we want to show you one cool little benefit you can get when you're hitching up a trailer. In this case, we've got a jet ski here to do the demo. So we're going to pull that out, and then Benny's going to run you through how we can use the air suspension to hitch the trailer up onto the vehicle. Let's do it.
Now we've backed the vehicle up nice and close to the trailer. What we're going to do now is put it in the low position, reverse under the hitch, line it up nicely, put it back into the drive position, and then lock the hitch onto the ball. Now the best thing about this feature is I don't have to wind the jockey wheel. This method's also perfect for vehicles with slide-on canopies or slide-on campers.
Alrighty, Benny. Glasshouse Mountains, here we come, eh?
Let's do it.
Let's unhitch this and get going.
Yep. Give it some.
We're going to kick things off at the Glasshouse Mountains lookout. There's an awesome track near there where we're going to get some epic views of Mount Tibrogargan and the surrounding mountains close by. As you can see over here, we've got a little track that's going to kick things off. This is going to show how beautifully our airbags work with the articulation, flex, travel, all that sort of stuff with your vehicle, and bust that myth that airbags affect your articulation.
And that's also as long as you've got a well-designed kit and it's installed and operated correctly. It'll be like you're riding on air.
Shall we get into it?
Yeah.
Sun cream first though?
Yep, me first.
All right, get into it. So when we were on the tracks, we didn't actually need to use the raised height, did we? Or activate it in any way?
No. But say if you need a bit more body clearance for a better departure angle, it's definitely the way to go.
That's when you got bigger ruts and stuff in the track, and yeah, you just need to get that bit more height.
Slow off-road moving.
That's it. So after we had a little bit of fun on that track there, we decided to head into the woods, didn't we?
Yep.
You want to explain this one?
Long story short, I sent it straight into a pine tree. So we were heading through a puddle. I was full throttle and full lock. As I exited the puddle, we got traction, bang, straight into the tree.
Lovely. I measured the depth wrong with the bent stick as well, didn't I?
Yeah, so it's his fault.
That's pretty nice. Jeez, you cleaned that up nicely, yeah. Look at that. Jeez.
So we didn't even scratch the surface with the Glasshouse Mountains, but if you want to go and test your rig, it's definitely the place to go. Go and explore and have some fun. Now that we've shown you the airbags in action, it's time to go and set up camp. Had a great day forbying. Now we've found a spot just along the creek here. We're going to get set up and camp the night. I'm going to drop the suspension to make it easier getting all the stuff out.
Gonna go for a fish as well, Benny?
Yeah.
A little bit of a comp, eh?
Bloody oath.
Is this your rod, is it?
That's Carl's.
Oh, is that yours, Carl, is it? We had an awesome camp out there at Coochin Creek. It's now time to tackle Mount Tibro. And what better way to do it with our mate Javier.
Oh, Mount Tibrogargan, it was a great climb, very hard, but it was well worth it at the top. You know, the views were very spectacular, and I got to do it with a couple of good mates.
Mount Tibrogargan. Let's do it. Keen?
The views were absolutely worth it. Now, what do you reckon was the hardest part of it?
Well, it was pretty much all hard.
Yeah.
Going up was pretty intense. Yep. Like, you absolutely shattered. That's a wrap, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. We got plenty more like this to come, so stay tuned.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you next time on Bag Builds.